When I was about 19 years old, I got introduced to Zig Ziglar, who, for you youngsters out there, was one of the great all-time motivational, inspirational, educational speakers that was out there. He died a few years ago, but he had a long and distinguished career and was really great. And I've credited him with a lot of my success, being lucky enough to discover him at that age, and he just clicked with me for whatever reason. Was really powerful. So I want to talk about one of the most famous sayings. He has a lot of them, but one of his most famous sayings and what it really means and how you can use it in your business. And that is, you can get everything you want out of life if you'll just help enough other people get what they want out of life. So what does that really mean? We're all self-centered. That's the human nature, is that we tend to think first about ourselves, but it's pretty easy actually to put other people's needs ahead of it. It's a conscious effort. But just as an example, you're meeting with a client, and if your only goal is to get their money, to get the booking, you'll get some. But in the end, you're going to probably always struggle with that. You're going to always have to be looking for that next person that you can get money from. But if you can help them get what they want, and it's one of the reasons I talk a lot about experience, and I go, people don't care about our experience, they care about their experience, right? We're always talking about what our experience does. Stop, listen, ask questions, ask why. Get to understand what their motivations are, what they really want. If you will help them achieve what they want, you're going to get everything that you want out of life in the end. We went to a big home garden expo thing, and within 5 minutes of walking in, I heard somebody scream my name, literally, Randy! And I turned around, and it was a bride and groom who I recognized, but I couldn't come up with the name, right? You've all been there. And she came running over and she hugged me, and she's just, raving. And then she was talking about another wedding that I had done that came from her wedding. Her wedding had been longer ago. I kind of figured out who it was later, but and she was just raving. And so we go and we start walking around, and maybe another 30 minutes or so, I hear Randy, and I turn around, and it's the father of a bride whose wedding I did just back in November, a couple months ago. And he just, started raving on and on about how amazing the wedding was. And then his wife came up and saw me, and she's like, oh my gosh. And she hugged me. She's like, I've been meaning to write you a letter because the stuff that you did and blah, blah, you guys have, you've heard you were the greatest speech. But I turned that to, what their memories were of the wedding. And they were talking about some of the moments from that. And then I heard my name again, and and it was the sister of the bride and her fiance who came up, and they were like, oh, Randy. So it was really fun to do that. But the point was always, it was about giving them what they wanted, and talking to the dad, and he was like, we never really knew that a wedding could even be like this, and we're just never going to forget this stuff. And we got our video back. We didn't do the video in this case. We got the video back, and we're watching it and reliving it. It was amazing. My goal, really simply, was to give them everything that they wanted out of life. And if you just go through life doing the most that you can for people, never the least. When one of my frustrations in the wedding business was venues who would say, oh, it'll be fine. They didn't hire me to be fine, right? I'm trying to be extraordinary. I'm trying to go far beyond fine. I want to give them an unbelievable experience. And that's what I'm always looking for. So I didn't want to work with clients they didn't really want anything. They just wanted to get through with the event. You know what? There's plenty of DJs out there that can do that for you. I'm looking to give people what they want most out of life. And then if I can do that, it always comes back. So you do good deeds for people, those come back to you, right? You find a wallet, you return it. Somebody's broken down on the side of the road, you help them. You do what you can for people, and it will always come back. I'm gonna take one more minute of my 1 minute and tell you a little bit about how the 1% solution came to be, way back in the beginning. I didn't go, hey, I think I could make a whole bunch of money if I, put together this DVD. In fact, I had bought everything that was out there on the subject of wedding training for DJs. And frankly, there wasn't much, and what there was not good. In the meantime, I bought Bobby Morgenstein's videos on how to do bar mitzvahs, and it was immensely helpful to me. It was phenomenal. I paid like $400 for VHS tapes, but I made so much out of it. I'd been doing some seminars, and in my seminars, I'm a visual, so I would show video clips in these seminars of what I meant by a good example and a bad example. And that was a really great way to learn things. And I kept having DJs come up to me afterwards saying, man, can I get a copy of that video? That would be really helpful to me. And so I started going, well, how can I put this together? And it was a lot more work than I thought, but I knew that other people learned like I did, which is visually. Let me see this. Don't just tell me, to be exciting. Show me what that looks like. And so that's what we did. So I was trying to help other DJs to do this. In the process of doing that, we created really an institution with the 1% Solution. And, I'm very proud of what we've ended up doing for it. But it was, in fact, when we did it initially, my wife was terrified. She was like, how much is this going to cost to make? It was, I won't go into all the numbers, super expensive to make. Thousands of dollars. And she says, is anybody going to buy this? I'm like, I don't know. I know some people want it. And if I can break even, I'll be happy. My goal wasn't, how can I make a bunch of money with this? Which is not the way to run a business. But my goal for everything has always been, how can I help people? And by doing that, I got everything that I wanted out of life. I'm now 63. I had a birthday, 63, and yesterday was a Saturday, and I was at the Home and Garden Fair, and I ran into clients there, right? I would never have run into clients ever on a Saturday, right? If I had a rare Saturday off, I'd be catching up in the business somehow. So anyway, hope that helps you. It was a little bit long today. I've never gone over before, so, but keep that in mind. You can get everything you want out of life if you'll just help enough other people get what they want out of life. Thank you, Zig Ziglar, man. You changed my life.